Hey guys, it's Frank. Welcome back to my channel. If you're watching this right now, you're probably thinking this is some sort of clickbait or a really bad early April Fool's joke, but unfortunately it's not, and I have decided to move out of Calgary and surprisingly back over to Toronto. From my guess, I assume that you're probably as shocked as I am or thought I would at least move over to Vancouver, but this was a decision that's been pondering my mind over the last few months. And I felt some of you guys even picked up on it from watching my previous videos where I talked about potentially leaving Calgary. I didn't just wake up one morning and decided it was time to leave Calgary. And quite honestly, when I moved here back in October of last year, I had all the intentions of staying here on a permanent basis. In fact, majority of the content that I have made on YouTube have been Calgary related. And I felt a lot of you that have subscribed to my channel want to learn more about the Calgary and how it compared to other different Canadian cities. So that's why I felt I owed it to you guys to explain my reasoning as to why I'm leaving Calgary after living here for approximately a full year. As I started to reflect on some of the key drivers, I came up with 4 items that really struck out that led to my decision. And I hope by you watching this video, you can take some of my Calgary experience and make a decision that best suits you should you ever want to move to Calgary. The more that I think about it, and if I wanted to be completely transparent with you guys as to why I'm leaving Calgary, would have to be that, quite frankly, I just don't have a large of a network out here or even a friend group out here. I moved to Calgary basically alone, knowing only a few friends and a couple family members, and I thought in time I would be able to build my network. I will acknowledge that moving to Calgary during the lockdown period didn't really help me either, nor did it even allow me to do as much activities that I wanted to during that period. And quite honestly, over the last year, I started to really learn more about myself, and I started to understand that one of my core values in life is that I really love and enjoyed having close-knit relations with my friends and my family. It's kind of funny because you know when you're in grade school and you're learning about Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Well, sense of belonging literally falls in the middle of it, and well, that's probably why I failed social studies in grade school. Alright, but in all honesty, what really made it clear to me was during the summer when I went to visit home in Winnipeg, and I had such an amazing time hanging out with my friends and my family. And I kind of thought to myself, wait a second, Winnipeg is so boring. There's like mosquitoes, there's not much to do there, but somehow when I was there, I was having such an enjoyable time, and I think it just had to do with just having friends and family that are really close to me out there. It was a good reminder that no matter how great of a city that you're living at, if you don't have the right people living there with you, it can be quite miserable doing it all by yourself. And I will admit, I have made some friends out here in Calgary, but I just started to recognize that the friendships that you make in your mid-20s versus the ones you've made growing up, your childhood friends, will never be the same. And to me, personally, this was important for me. So at this point, you might be asking yourself why I didn't move back to Winnipeg. And as crazy as it sounds, I somehow miss the big city lifestyle in Toronto. There's just something about the road smelling like piss, rats crawling around, or people throwing chairs off the condo building that makes Toronto unique. So let me first dismiss the trolls in the comment section that are probably thinking, "Hey Frank, you told us how much you hated Toronto and that why we should all move to Calgary, and now you're telling us that you're going back to Toronto? This is by far the biggest scam. I can't believe it. I'm gonna hit that dislike button right now." And that's the thing, and why I feel confident in my decision, because despite all the negative aspects that I have highlighted in my previous videos, I still feel that Toronto, at least at this point in my life, still makes the most sense for me. Calgary is a wonderful city, don't get me wrong. You have affordable housing prices, low commute times, and you're literally an hour away from like the Rocky Mountains. But I feel like this city is more suitable for those people who are looking to settle, raise a family, or even looking to retire. Perhaps it's a mentality thing, because I have asked individuals who are a little bit older and who once upon a time loved the big city lifestyle. I find them now having a little bit more interest into the slower paced cities like Calgary, and they're looking to settle. As of right now, at 26 years of age, I understand that I still want to explore, experience, and do more, and that's why I feel Toronto is the best fit city right now. It's not to say that I'll be in Toronto forever, because I've recognized that life is just unpredictable, and the more that I think about it, I never expected to move to Toronto straight out of high school, moving to Calgary and only to go back to Toronto. And I guess that's the beauty of it. The third reason that came to mind was looking at my job and my career, and I started to just recognize that Calgary's job economy just is the greatest from my experience, and if I ever want to progress, I find it more challenging to stay here than it is to live in the bigger cities such as Vancouver or Toronto. I was fortunate enough to find employment that allowed me to work remotely within Calgary, but even then, technically I am working in a different time zone, which means I am constantly having to adjust my schedule for others to accommodate this. And well, waking up early kind of sucks as well. Alright, I'm half kidding. This reason wasn't too big of an issue, just given that I am an early riser, but I do see it being an issue down the road, just because my background is in the tech industry, and should anything ever happen to my career ever again, I don't want to be in that drought of finding employment in Calgary, where I was searching for work for over 9-10 months here. As I mentioned before, I am super grateful that my position allowed me to do remote work, but I guess one of the drawbacks from doing remote virtual work is that you'll probably never get the chance to meet half of your colleagues, and sometimes it can be just as good as bad as talking to someone from, like, I don't know, what's that website called? Omegle or something? This brings us over to the final item, and I know a lot of you had the impression that I was going to be moving to Vancouver, especially after I posted my Vancouver vlog a couple months ago. And to tell you the truth, I was pretty convinced myself that Vancouver would make the most sense for me, having both mixes of a big city vibe, an outdoor mountain lifestyle, that this would for sure be the dream city, right? And I was obsessed with Vancouver, doing research of what's it like living there, listening to other people's opinion, and even watching YouTube videos of people who made the transition from Toronto over to Vancouver and seeing what it's like over there. The takeaway that I got from it all was that Vancouver was literally the dream city during the summer months period. You have sunshine, mountain views, good food, but the opposite side of it is during the winter months is that you'll see rarely any sunshine, gloominess, and I felt that doing it rather alone there could be quite miserable for me if I were to move to Vancouver. And then I thought about what it would be like hypothetically living out there the moment that I log off of my work laptop, and what would be kind of like the difference living here, Toronto, or over there. I thought about what I would do to potentially make friends, and I likely would join a bunch of rec leagues playing sports like basketball, volleyball, running clubs, and because those are just things that I like to already do on my spare time. And then it just clicked to me that I literally already had all these things out in Toronto. I already had friends that I play sports with. I already had a big city vibe, and more importantly, I already just had a sense of belonging in that city. It just became clear to me that as much love I have for the city of Vancouver and wanting to move there, moving there alone and building a network from scratch is not entirely impossible, but at this current stage of my life, I feel as though it's not for me at this time. To conclude this video, I just want to say that from all the moving that I've done within Canada, I'm first to say that there's never going to be a perfect city that fits all of your criteria. And even if it does, it's almost in our human instincts to find reasons down the years to complain about it. There's actually an infamous quote on the internet that I stumbled upon that states that the grass isn't always greener on the other end, rather it's green wherever you water it. Meaning that simply you can't run away from your problem, and that you should make the best of your current situation, aka the poker hands that you have. So where does this take us? And you might be asking, what would my videos now look like, just given that a bulk of my content has always been heavily weighted on Calgary and I'm now moving to Toronto? Well, to you guys, not much will change, just given that realistically all my videos have been recorded indoors, and for all you know, I could have been up in Nunavut recording all these videos, and you never would have known that I was even in Calgary. I will continue posting about Canadian cities, sharing about my experience, my take, and my reviews. I won't lie that there likely will be a more emphasis on Toronto, just given that I will be based out of there, but I will try my best to still create content from various cities, including Calgary. But anyhow, with that said guys, as always, if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching and following my millennial journey from Winnipeg to Toronto to Calgary, now back to Toronto. I really do appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button, and I guess I'll see you guys all in my next video. Peace.